In this class, we'll discuss about dependency injection in Spring using constructor injection. Okay, so I have a program here. What this program has to do is it has to generate the output of something in either Excel format or PDF format. Okay, so I have a class called output helper. It has a method called generate output. Okay, this generate output, it has to generate the output in PDF format or Excel format. To generate the output, this class makes use of another class called output generator. This output generator is basically of type iOutputGenerator, where iOutputGenerator is just an interface which can generate output. Okay, so this interface is implemented by the Excel output generator, which generates output in the form of Excel. In this particular example, it's just a we are just trying to stub it out, so we just put a system out saying it is generating Excel output. In actual implementations, you will write some code which will generate Excel. So you have one class called iOutputGenerator. Sorry, it's an interface. It has a method called generate output. So any class which implements this interface, the iOutputGenerator, it has to provide an implementation for the generate output. So in the case of the PDF output generator, the generate output says generating PDF output. In the case of the Excel output generator, it says generating Excel output. Okay, and this iOutput generator is used by the output helper class. So there is a dependency between the output helper class and the output generator classes. But if you see in this code, in the output helper class, the output generator is never hard coded to either of these two. It is neither hard coded to the Excel output generator, nor is it hard coded to the PDF output generator. We only talk in terms of the interface. So when you invoke the generate output method from the output generator, which one gets invoked, the Excel one or the PDF one? If you are doing coding without using Spring, you would have hard coded to either one of the two. You would have said output generator is new CVS new Excel output generator or PDF output generator. Instead of doing that, we don't hard code this dependency. We wire this dependency in the Spring context file, and that Spring context file is in the resources folder, which is in the class path. So I have a file called dependency injection via constructor Spring context XML file. So let's look at this file. So it has a bean called output helper, which is of type output helper, and this class contains an output, has a property called actually this class, the output helper class, if you look at the constructor, it takes an argument of iOutputGenerator. So in your Spring context XML file, you will say that in the constructor argument, when you are creating this bean, you are saying use the bean which is referred by the bean with the ID of PDF output generator. So here in this bean configuration, in the Spring context configuration file, you have a bean called PDF output generator, which is of class PDF output generator. So this constructor, when you request from the Spring container to give a bean of ID output helper, it will create an object of output helper using the constructor, and in the constructor it will pass an object of PDF output generator. So in the constructor of the iOutput helper, this output generator is actually pointing to a PDF output generator. The PDF output generator implements the output generator. So there is a relationship between the PDF output generator and the iOutput generator. you can assign a class to an interface only if the class implements that interface. Otherwise, you cannot assign it. So, what you are doing is here you are making it as generic as possible. So that IO output generator is like a placeholder. So that interface is basically like a placeholder. It can be pointing to PDF output generator or the Excel output generator depending upon how it is configured in the Spring configuration file. So it could be pointing to the PDF output generator or the Excel output generator. So let's run it and see what it generates. So what you do is go to the class, go to the demo program. In the demo program, what you have to do is you have to load the Spring context configuration file by using the class path XML application context. And in the class path XML application context, you have to give the name of the XML file that you are loading. And this file gets loaded from the class path. So if you look at your project and look at the properties, and if you go to the Java build path, and then if you go to the class path, you will see that the training resources is part of the class path. And inside the training resources, there is a file called di via constructor spring application context.xml file. And that is how it will get loaded. So in this demo program, we are loading it from the di via constructor spring context XML file. And then once you get the context, you can get the bean with the ID of output helper. If you see, all the bean IDs start with a lowercase letter. Though they are camel case, they may be the name of a bean may be almost similar to the name of a class, but it will start with a lowercase character. So in the Spring context file, you will see that it is an output helper with the first letter starting in the lowercase, and the name of this class is also output helper. You can use any meaningful name. It doesn't have to match the name of the class, but here you need to configure it so that when the object of output helper gets created, it is configured with, it is wired with a PDF output generator for the property output generator. So if you go to the output helper constructor, so here the PDF output generator is passed in by the Spring container, and this output generator will be pointing to the PDF output generator. So when I invoke the generate output, so if I go to my demo program, I get the output helper, and then I call the generate output. So the generate output will go to this method, and it will invoke the generate output on this interface. This guy is pointing to the PDF output generator. So it will go and invoke the generate output of the PDF output generator, which says generating PDF output. So let me run this program and confirm that. So I'll say run as Java application, and then you'll see a couple of warnings followed by generating PDF output. Now let me change that in the Spring context file to point to an Excel output generator. So I need to use this bean ID. I cannot use the class name directly. I have to use this bean ID and put that over here. And if I run this program again, it should say generating Excel output. Now it says generating Excel output. So this is how constructor injection happens. So the most important thing to remember is you need to configure your Spring context XML file and use this tag called constructor-arg, and in that ref means referring to this bean with ID of this, and that should be configured somewhere else in the Spring context file. So you need to have configurations for different kinds of classes which implement that interface. And what is that interface? The output generator interface. So you have the Excel output generator and the PDF output generator. So you need to have two beans defined for that and use one of those two. Later on, if you want to change the implementation, you can change it without recompiling your application. Whereas if you had hard coded it, and in the traditional programming, if you are done without using Spring, this is how you would have done it. You would say, you would create an output helper class, then you will create an Excel output generator, and then you will set that to the Excel output generator. So instead of doing all this stuff, so here in your code you are hard coding it, right? Now let's say later on I want to change it to PDF output generator. So you have to go and make code changes and recompile your class. With Spring you don't have to do that. You just have to configure it, and once you change it to the configuration file, it is loaded from the class path automatically, and you don't have to recompile and package your application and deploy it again. So you just make the changes in the Spring context file. So this is how constructor injection works in Spring.